My name's Matthew Lubian Vidal. I'm just here to talk about clickiness or clicks that I've seen over the last few weeks and months. Um, I want to talk from a spiritual point of view and how when I go to spiritual events, you see how I think a lot of us spiritual people who are losing the focus on what to be spiritual is. We are all spiritual, obviously. We are born and we're born with a spirit. But to practice being a spiritual being and being true to yourself and being true to others in your spiritual family, this is what I want to talk about right now. My first point is having that spiritual family and respecting that spiritual family, because I've seen all too many people, especially at events, that don't show the love. They don't show the compassion or the understanding, and it's all being driven by money. It's a fact. Yes, we all need to live and eat. We all need to. We want to be successful in our industries, in whatever we do. But you don't have to be. You're no better than people who are driving for money, who are focused on money, who will rip off their own granny to achieve money. To be spiritual and disrespect another spiritual being, or someone who has the ability, who are growing, probably in my mind makes you worse, because in that sense you would have recognized that these individuals um, only have one purpose, and that is that the change or the thing that folds. But you, as a spiritual person or a practitioner or a loving energy, you should see the beauty in that person. You should see the amazing um, um, sacrifice to a degree that they've had to go through, like you've had to go through, and your focus on service to your fellow man and to yourself, and how you will give your love unconditionally to another person and move away from those hardships. Walking this path, we all know, isn't easy. So please try and focus and be a bit more self, have a bit more self respect for people who share what we share. I was at an event and it was full on. I heard a guy say, um, it reminded me of, to be honest, it reminded me of The Apprentice. He went to this other store and goes, the girls are doing really well. They're driving at home. They were just banging, and they just almost made a grand at lunchtime. I'm like, well, good, you got targets to hit, but at the end of the day, you're at a spiritual event, brother. You know, you're at a spiritual event. You're there, and when you're selling something to somebody, it should be for the purity of humanity, not to drive um, finance in your pocket. You see where I'm coming from? You know, whether you're selling a service is yourself, or whether you're selling a product, whether you're selling jewelry, whether you're selling incense, whether you're selling lotions, you're at that event, yes, to make money to live, not to drive and be greedy. I purposely, though I thought the product was pretty good, I purposely kept away from that arena. You ain't gonna get my support, I assure you. The other point is finding who you are. People like that, obviously, have gone down a path, realized, oh, I can make a lot of money in this industry, and then abuse it. It's just disrespectful. It's just disrespectful. And yes, as a well tuned spiritual being or spiritual person, and God's given you a talent, whether you're a astrologer, a psychic, a medium, a tarot reader, or you're a Reiki master practitioner, or you're a numerologist. All these factors are being given God given talents to you. So if I see another practitioner, I'll give them respect. If they give me disrespect, then I give them disrespect back. I was at an event several years ago, and I was telling my story on how I came into the industry, or I started practicing within this industry, and how I first got my gift. And I was with a group of friends of mine, and we all believed in the same process and in love and light to each other, and always gave each other respect. When we was at this event, this lady came up to me, and I told her my story about how I was young, and then I had a imaginary, but I thought it was imaginary person, turned out to be a ancestor of mine. And then her line was, "Oh, well, that's not very normal, is it, for a a young child, is it?" And I was like, "What? What? What? How dare you? You ask me a question, I tell you an answer." So anyway, I was sitting down at the time. She was standing. I got up, and I don't know what happened, but all I know is probably one of my guys just pushed her away because she just collapsed onto the floor. And I looked at her, and everyone just stepped back. She landed on the floor. Everyone just stepped back. I didn't touch her, yeah, but don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect my guys because I don't disrespect you. You asked me a question, I gave you an honest answer, and I go, and from there she just went back to the little hole that she was in. Um, it's just all I can say is just respect each other. Just honor and respect because we all walk the same path, no matter which way you've gone, whether you've been not believed in and not loved and not cared for. And then as you're going along your path, because it can be a lonely path. It can be a lonely path. Trust me, I know. And when you're trying to make sense of what you're feeling and thinking, um, uh, it's hard to try and share it with someone who don't understand. you know. So when you do meet people, and for example, you go to Glastonbury, or go to retreats, or you go to spiritual events, or you go to Samhain events, or you go to Buddhist temples, and you meet these people, that's why I respect Buddhists so much. I respect them so much. And when it was one of my darkest times, and I went to a Buddhist temple, um, I didn't have a clue, a Scooby Doo, what I was due to expect. But I was there, and it was like I was a long lost member of their family. It was really, really strange. I I swear, they, the monks were just. No, I'm talking the middle of Wimbledon, right? This is a cosmopolitan place, and I was there, and they must have seen how lost I was. Despite I had loads of people around me, in my life, I obviously was on my own at the time. I sat there for about 4 hours talking. They brought me food over noodles. They brought me noodles over, and we were talking, and we just spoke about life. And I remember at that time I was looking at this pigeon walking, and I realised how a pigeon moves its head every time its feet goes forward. You know, and I come with the notion that if you want to get ahead, you have to put your first step forward. And that helped me understand that I needed to, in order for me to move forward, I need to put my head in gear. My head and my first step has to be in gear at the same time, and that's where this whole the law of attraction came in, and how I managed to make things shift and change. So anyway, I hope you're staying blessed, and you look after yourself. Please check out my website below, and it is matthewlubienvidal.co.uk. You stay blessed, and you stay cool, and make the Creator keep you safe. And loves your family. Take care.